And we are live. Hello and welcome to the Benefit of a Doud podcast. This is another review from the Benefit of a Doud podcast. I haven't done this in a long time, and that's why this is weird. I'm your host, Adam Doud, and joining me is Cliff Thomas. Cliff, how you doing this evening?
Another high-quality intro from the people at the Benefit of the Doud.
Yes, well, if we are nothing if not, hanging a lantern on our screw-ups, so it's fine. We're all good. We're all good here. That's what this show is all about. We're learning on the fly here, baby, and that's why I probably should mention ahead of time that the product that we are reviewing tonight was not planned. I just kind of called an audible and decided I felt like doing this tonight. So I guess we should go ahead and just start talking about it.
Let's jump in.
So, Cliff,
can you tell me what time it is?
Have you ever worn a smartwatch before?
Yes, I have, Adam.
Okay, yeah, we both tried to do our own intros there, and I was persistent enough to stick with mine. But yeah, you know what? One of the biggest problems with smartwatches is battery life.
That's
battery
true,
life on smartwatches is terrible. So, like, not all smartwatches battery life is terrible. Like there's smartwatches. There's like, your Samsungs and your Google Pixel watches and your Apple watches. You measure that battery life in hours. And by the way, I'm paraphrasing something that I wrote in a review earlier this month. So anyway, and then you've got your fitness trackers. Your fitness trackers are like your Fitbits. Shout out to who is it that always Sam? Shout out to Sam and your Fitbits and your Garmin's and stuff like that. Those usually get battery life gets measured in days. Okay, and then you've got your outliers. Earlier this month, I did a review for the Withings ScanWatch, which is a hybrid smartwatch with just a teeny tiny little OLED screen on it that lasts for about 3 weeks on a charge, which is awesome. Earlier,
it's also not doing that much.
No, it is. It really is, though. I mean, honestly, go read my review. You'll see. It's a good enough smartwatch if the data didn't suck. Anyway, well, that's a different conversation.
I bought my dad a Withings. One of the predecessors.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, he really liked it, and the whole thing was this was before he had an Apple Watch, and his concern was just very quickly that it was maybe a little too, like, it's not something he could wear out, right? To like something more formal.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and I think actually, well, maybe not quite as much, but the Garmin can be more like that too. I think a little, not dressy, but
yeah, I mean,
more like a regular watch.
So I mean, the Withings, I'm actually looking for it in my box of watches here. Actually, is it in there? It's around somewhere. Anyway,
watches.
The Withings looked nice, and I actually intentionally went with the black one because it matched the black screen that was on it. Otherwise, you have like the white screen with like the big black circle on it, which I thought was kind of but anyway, so that one, like I said, lasts for about 3 weeks on charge, which is pretty amazing. I just finished my review of the TicWatch, which I haven't had it long enough to really make a solid
TicWatch Generation 5, right?
Yeah, the TicWatch 5 Pro, which, I'll put the link to that review in the show notes as well. That lasts about 4 or 5 days on a charge. And the reason it does that is because it has that second LED screen, which is transflective, which is a fun word to say. But then now, my usual go-to watch is a Garmin Venue 2 Plus, which I've had for like a year and a half now. And that will usually get me like 5 or 6 days. Because like I said, that's like a fitness tracker. It's, and it's great with notifications and stuff like that. But let's talk about a major outlier here. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce Skippy, the review cam here, so he can show you. Actually, they can show you. I don't know that we've actually picked a gender for Skippy, the review cam yet. But mute. Anyway, this is the Garmin Instinct 2 Solar.
And
And
I see the solar panel on there.
Yeah, and so I have been reviewing this watch, not actively because I went with a tick watch there for a while, but this watch has been on and serving notifications for about 2 weeks now. And if you zoom in, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Can we see it?
It wants to focus, but then it doesn't.
It really does. It really does. So there's a little display up here that shows you like what the temperature is outside. And then right next to it, it has a battery life indicator that says 16D,
Oh
which
my
means,
God, 16 days.
which means there's 16 days left on this charge, and that's assuming that I don't get any sunlight between now and then, because actually you can see up above there, and again you can't see it, but there's like a solar indicator up here that indicates, and I don't know what the K's stand for, but like 3.5 thousand
Kelvin? Kinetic energy?
solar units, I'm guessing, or something.
Yeah, I don't
Sure
know.
there's someone who's really smart with solar
Wouldn't be Kelvin.
technology knows exactly what I'm talking
Right,
about. But
right.
anyway, now here's the caveat. Like the one big caveat with this watch is this is not a touch screen. So no touchies, no touchies. This is also a black and white screen. So it's not like
Really
an OLED
legible, though,
screen.
just under the smartphone camera.
Right.
Though.
Right, exactly.
It's actually giving me the design of it, and like just the whole thing is kind of giving me Casio G-Shock vibes.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like that kind of rugged and lots of information heavy. And...
Right. And the thing is, like, and they actually do have like different watch faces that you can use with this. So it's not like, and the Skippy just froze again. That's fun. Yeah, because hello, here's both my hands, and
it's a magic trick.
There it is down there. We're having some technical difficulties here.
It's okay, he'll edit it out in post.
Will we though?
Yes.
Okay, there goes Skippy. So that means I need to refresh up here. Anyway, so yeah, we'll get back to Skippy in just a moment. But so the thing is, the way the watch is designed is that, it occurs to me we should talk about something off air. But anyway, the way the watch is designed is there's like a big screen where it has all the information, and then there's a little guy up here, which is where like the date is currently displayed and whatnot. So anyway, so what I like about it is that you're right. It still has like that kind of classic Casio G-Shock look. It's a tough watch too. I mean, this thing is a chunk.
Is it resin?
I'm sorry.
Is it resin? Is it plastic? Like
it's like it's resin. I believe it is like a resin, a fiber reinforced polymer is what they call it. The strap is silicone, and I'm looking down at my wrist like that's still a thing, except it's not. Wait, and Skippy's back.
Ta-da!
Okay, so yeah, it's a fiber reinforced polymer. And let's just run through the specifications here real quick before it fails again. So this is a silicone strap that and the strap does actually come off. In fact, let me just go ahead and take the watch off real quick because it's time to start flipping it around here.
Yeah.
So the strap does come off. You can see that there's actually a pin here. It's not like a quick change pin, so you need like a probably a SIM tray pin or like a needle or something like that to get the pin out, but it does come out, which is nice. And it's a standard 22 millimeter lug, so I can switch it with any of the other
any other 22 millimeter bands,
any other 22 millimeter band. Anyway,
which is kind of an industry. It's like either 20 or 22 is pretty much what you see, unless you're tick watch, and then
unless you're tick watch, in which case it's 24. And god damn it. Anyway, this has a 10 atmosphere water rating, which I want to say is like 100 feet underwater. I could be wrong about that, but I want to. It's a 10 atmosphere. It's like. It's better than IP68. Okay, this thing,
so probably good for just about anything you're gonna run into in your day to day, but maybe don't go diving with it.
Right, exactly. And you might even be able to go diving with it.
Go scoot like what is it? Snorkeling with it.
Right. Now it does have a charging port on it. Then it's the standard Garmin charging port, which I don't believe I have. Oh yeah, I do have the cable. So
And like
this
little
is the
pogo pins. Oh,
yeah,
it's
this
not
is the
even one of the
charging.
little like circles, circular
No,
ones.
this actually like physically plugs into the back of the watch.
Huh.
So, and like all Garmin watches are like that,
Okay.
or at least all the ones that I've used. But anyway, and so okay, so let's take a tour around the side. This is your light button. We're going to talk about this because I'm excited about this.
Did you mention
Um,
the name? Did you mention the product, like total name of this before? I can't recall if you did or not.
yeah. It's the total name is the Garmin Instinct 2 Solar.
Okay. I
So
think you probably said that before, but it wasn't in my head. So
yeah, no, that's fine.
okay.
Anyway, so then this is your menu button. This is your it's kind of like an up and down. Like these two buttons here serve as up and down, and there's actually like little, no pun intended, cliff notes around the side where like this one says light, this one says up, this one says down. So like as you're navigating the watch, it's you're using the push buttons to do it. That goes up and this one goes down. Over here is kind of like your select button. So if you wanted to go to like your heart rate, nope, shoot, I think, oh no, okay, I thought I screwed something up there. No, so you go to your heart rate and it'll show you like the last 4 hours and your last 7 days. And it wasn't on my wrist up until yesterday. That's why there's no data there. And then this is your back button, so that takes you back a menu and whatnot. So while you're in this main interface, this gives you the amount of solar that you've collected, the date, the temperature outside, the battery life, sunrise and sunset is down at the bottom, and then obviously that's the time. And then you can scroll down, you can get your solar intensity meter, and actually you can kind of see this. Then you've got the weather, so that's your current temperature, high and low. And then this will show you when sunrise is or when sunset is, depending on what's next. And then this is your last exercise, which for me was like, unfortunately, like 2 weeks ago. This is the number of steps for the day. And this is your heart rate, which we already kind of looked at. And then this, I believe, is supposed to be, no, this is sleep. This is, I think this is body battery. And Garmin has a thing with which is like your body battery, which is like how much you exercise, how much you sleep, and like where you are. My body battery is usually in the single digits, FYI. Then there's your sleep, and then here's your calendar, and then here's your notifications. And so if you select that, you can scroll through your notifications. And my wife texted me, and that's my email address. Don't everybody email me, stuff like that.
Right.
So anyway, so that's cool. It's having been reviewing smartwatches for so long, it's deeply weird that I have to use buttons to navigate around. But you actually get used to it a lot quicker.
Kind of takes me back to Pebble.
Yeah, totally. And same kind of mechanisms there. Now before Skippy flakes out on us again, I want to show you. Well, first of all, I want to mention about the battery life. I've got Garmin's website up here. Theoretically, you should never need to charge this watch, but Garmin says with a very big asterisk, that is assuming that you get 3 hours worth of sun a day in 50,000 lux conditions. So bright sunshine,
sunlight, yeah,
outside for 3 hours a day, which I mean, it's not completely unreasonable.
Yeah, especially if you're someone that works outside or
right. But if you live in Chicago in May, that's not going to happen. But anyway, before I want to show you the coolest part about this watch. The reason I was excited to get this watch, and it's the stupidest reason ever, but it's also awesome. So this button over here, I said this is the light button. So you push it and it turns on your backlight, right? So that you can see it. Now it will turn on if you do the wrist flip. It'll turn on as well. But if you double push this button, there is a built-in flashlight in your watch, people.
That's awesome.
This is so like you grab a Motorola phone, you do the double chop, and your flashlight turns on. Cool. This is amazing. Like I have found so many things. Like I wake up in the morning and like I don't want to disturb my wife, so I just pop on the flashlight and I can look around and get my clothes and stuff like that. I lose something under the bed. I don't have to worry about where my phone is and like do the thing and the push the button. Nope, I just double push. I love this flashlight.
It is a very gadget nerdy thing to have a flashlight on your watch. I'm just saying.
But you know what?
No, I like it. That's a good
It
idea.
makes so much sense.
Yeah, it
And
does.
like the only reason that Garmin can do this
Yeah.
is because you get 32 days of battery life
How
out
many
of it.
milliamp hours is the battery? I'm just curious.
I don't
I
know
thought
off
you, I
the
thought you had the website
top
up there.
of. I do have the website open, but it doesn't have that. It didn't have it up with the tech specs. Let me see here. And this is typical Cliff asking me a question that I don't know the answer to.
That's what I'm here for, my friend.
You know what? It doesn't say.
Hmm.
It just says smartwatch, and there goes Skippy again. So the smartwatch has a battery life of 28 days / unlimited with solar.
Mm.
If you go
28
into battery,
days. Still
right?
okay.
Still, like, and that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I have a sort of my real watch is a Citizen with Eco Drive, which is partially solar. I think
Okay.
it's like partially kinetic, partially solar. I
Oh, neat.
think.
Okay.
And so like the idea of something being powered by solar to me, so again, it's the same kind of thing. Like it really just should be perpetually on, and it's got like a little like analog meter that shows you in like
where
like
the
the
battery
sub
is,
dial,
that kind of
right?
thing.
Like how much power. It's literally like a power meter to show you how much you have left in your. So yeah, like that. I love that. Like I love the idea of like the mechanical watches that have the it's basically powered by gravity, and
Yeah.
when you move. So in that same way, like I love the idea of being able to just power, this
Don't they
watch off.
have don't they have some smartwatches that are like not powered by that obviously, but like don't they like recharge with like kinetic motion, or am I just completely off base with
Not
that?
that I know of now.
Okay.
There were smartwatches that came out like I think into like the second Pebble era, like
Yeah.
like so I don't know what that would be, like 2013, 2014, something like that. That I remember
Yeah.
it was like a Kickstarter and it was
That's
partially
probably
powered
what
by
I'm thinking
kinetic.
of.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm thinking of. But anyway, so Skippy's back. Again. So
Yeah, to take a potty break, it's fine.
yeah, right. So there are some downsides here. First of all, this thing is freaking massive. I mean, like, you can't really see it on my wrist because I'm already a big dude, but let's just get out like here is the tick watch. Here
Tick watch is
is,
kind of a thick boy too for a
it kind of
smartwatch.
is.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that's the original tick watch. Where's my Samsung watch?
You have the original OG Tick watch. You know that, right? Or at least you did. Do you remember me
Yeah.
sending you
Yeah. Oh,
the
that's the one you sent me. Okay.
the non Google Wear one?
I think that's this one.
Wear OS one.
And no, where is? Oh wait, here's the watch. So okay, so like,
So many watches.
such a stupid problem to have. Okay, so like, now this won't sit flat because of the way the band is.
It's just
But
what's the? I'm trying to think what's the face size? Like is that like 43, 45?
the face size is, well, it's 0.9 actually, 23 millimeter. Well, no, yeah. The display size is 0.9 inches.
Okay.
Which is, it says it's that the small. Okay, I see what they're saying. I'm like 0.9 inches is not 23 millimeters. Actually, yeah, it probably is 2.3 centimeters. Yeah. So it's 23 millimeters. You know what we can do?
Yeah, but you get all that added. Anytime he gets an opportunity.
Yep. Okay, so this is actually showing up
You want
as
like the full radius of the body is what you want.
okay. So for the full radius of the body, we're at 52 millimeters for this.
So yeah,
Whereas
that's a big boy.
With the Samsung,
Should be 40.
it's like 44.
Yeah. That's what I was looking for.
This is the Garmin Venue 2 Plus, which is coming in at about 43. This is the original TicWatch.
It is.
Thank you.
Because it's got
Thank you,
that
Cliff.
silly like button on the side, on the
Yeah,
left side instead of the right.
It's got
And
that.
it's got the tickle.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the tickle. So that's 41. I think my battery's getting low. I think that's why it's blinking.
Huh.
And then this is the new TicWatch, the TicWatch Pro 5. And I'm going to try to get it without the
button.
So we're looking at probably like 48. So this is actually
That's a big boy.
The TicWatch is a big boy too. But anyway, I mean, this is just like a chunk. I mean, even compared to the TicWatch. Yeah. Totally. And actually, I mean, this is also set back.
Yeah.
You can't really see it, but
how much it's for the screen is recessed.
Yeah, the screen is recessed. Trying to do it.
That's actually really, I mean, good if you're worried about scratching your screen.
Right. I'm trying to do it so I don't scratch the screen. It is recessed 1.4 millimeters.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, yeah, that is a very good amount. Whereas this is not recessed at all. This is not recessed at all. This is recessed. It is not by much though. Anyway, but anyway, like of all these watches, like even the TicWatch, which is this is the TicWatch Pro 5. Even the TicWatch, which is a gargantuan watch, I mean, you can tell, like, just from a thickness standpoint, it's just, I mean, this thing is a chunker. So, I mean, you kind of have to.
Not a watch that most women would probably go for. Just would not look good on slim wrist.
Probably not so much. But so that's like the one thing, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. Funny story about me and watches. When I was a kid, I started wearing my watch. I'm right-handed. And I started wearing my watch on my right hand because when I was a kid, I said I do everything else with my right hand. Why wouldn't I wear my watch on my right hand? I did not realize how vastly bad that was.
It was a very bad idea.
Yeah. And so, funny story. When I started reviewing the TicWatch 5, I'm like, you know what? I've worn watches on my left hand before because sometimes I wear two watches so I can compare data.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to wear the TicWatch on my left hand because that's what you're supposed to do. But what I didn't realize is the crown sticks over by your wrist so much. Every time I bent my wrist, I would end up pushing the crown, which activated the screen, which reduced the battery life. You cannot flip the watch over because the second transflective screen doesn't flip.
Oh.
So the crown is stuck on this side of the watch for 90% of the right-handed, population of the world.
So wait, are you saying that you still normally wear your watch on your right hand?
Yes. Oh. Like as of like a week ago. So now I'm doing it on my left hand. I'm still trying to train myself to do this. It's still kind of weird.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
But I just decided, I'm like, you know what? Everybody else, and it's so funny.
You iconoclast you. I'm not going to do things that anybody else does.
No, it's what's funny about it is with the TicWatch, if I hadn't decided with the TicWatch, I'm going to try to wear a watch on my left hand, I never would have noticed the thing about pushing the button. So I wouldn't have been able to include it in my review, which would have pissed off 90% of my readers because they're all right-handed, Right. So it was just kind of a weird coincidence that was the watch I decided to try it with. And so I'm still going. I'm getting used to it. It's a process, but I am getting used to it. I completely lost my train of thought there when we were talking about left-handed versus right-handed and the TicWatch. Sorry, folks.
We were talking about dimensions, though.
Yeah. So okay. So that's right. We were talking about this is a gargantuan watch. So one of the downsides is that it is huge. Another downside, if you want to call it that, is that it's not a touch screen. So if you're used to using a smartwatch, that's kind of an adjustment, if you're coming from a Casio, you'll be great.
It's even got like all many buttons.
But the other, I would say, arguably the most annoying part of this watch is the ridiculously short Bluetooth range that it has.
Oh.
Because like any other watch,
solar, so it's the power. I don't know.
Maybe it's like Bluetooth, like super low energy.
You're right.
But no, like any other watch, I can leave my phone on my desk and go anywhere in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I even go up to the upstairs bathroom, I'm getting a notification on the watch saying you're disconnected, which I mean, is kind of nice because, then you're notified that you left your watch behind. But it's also kind of annoying because, like, if I go somewhere in my house without my phone, my watch is like, "Hey, you left your phone behind." It's like,
Right.
that's not a problem. Um, but yeah, so like it does have ridiculously short range compared to basically any other smartwatch that I have reviewed, which, as you just seen, it's been a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
so like those are like the only major downsides. Um, Everything else is like I'm very happy with it. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you was on my phone, like the Garmin app is actually very well organized. So you've got this training readiness, which is set to high. Clearly, it doesn't know me very well. But it has like heart rate monitoring. And like one of the things that I really like about, Garmin's and even the Tick Watch is the continuous heart rate monitor. With a Samsung, you can't really do that. Like if you do that, you're going to get
Yeah,
maybe
you're
a day
like a
out of the
half a day
battery.
of battery life.
But with Samsung, I want to say the heart rate is like once every hour, once every 10 minutes, or continuous. And it's like none of those are really all that useful because once every 10 minutes, and once every hour isn't going to tell you a whole heck of a lot. And if you do it continuously, it's going to die. Anyway, but this will continuously measure my heart rate for 16 days yet. So like that's pretty cool.
That is awesome. And actually, this is something I was gonna say is that I think, well, it might be sort of evident by the features that it has. Right. This is definitely aimed towards a certain set of needs with the
Oh,
smartwatch.
sure.
Right. Like you
Oh, yeah.
definitely, because it's not a touchscreen. Because I mean, it like I did see that it has notifications for your calls and things like that.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Maybe not the most easy to access compared to some competing platforms, but
It's not bad. Like,
it seems like
yeah.
it's targeted towards people that are into fitness
Yeah.
and
Um,
um
but also one thing I should point out is when I was showing you the faces before, or
right,
not the faces, but
yeah, your
the
different
the
information.
menus before. So I went this way, which is why notifications were last. If I go up,
Yeah,
notifications are
first
right
one.
there. So
But
I
again,
mean
it's
they
going to be
do wrap
limited
around.
information too compared to,
Yeah,
I mean, you
which
can
is
sit there and
nice.
scroll. Yeah, which it's fine. It's just understanding your audience, which obviously Garmin does, and they definitely have a broad audience with the different kinds of smartwatches that
Right.
they make. I mean, hell, they have ones that are targeted towards like aviation, towards
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
diving. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy, but
But I mean, in general, it's fair to say that Garmin watches are going to be geared more towards people that
right.
are really focused on the fitness and the data. And I mean, that's, you're getting a lot of that here. I
Does
was,
their app tie into like Apple Fitness or into Google Fit or like Strava and that kind of stuff?
if it does, I did it so long ago, I don't remember. I don't know that it does, though. No, I don't think it does.
Hmm.
I could be wrong. I could very well be
Maybe you can
wrong.
export it and then and like bring it into it.
But I mean, like, yeah, there's just a ton
Yeah, it's
of
a ton of it
of
supports Google Pay.
Yeah. Oh, well, it supports Garmin Pay,
Oh,
which is yet another payment system
oh,
that you have to
good.
set up.
That's what we needed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I need is to tie my credit card to another
Right.
payment system because I only
Actually,
get like 8. Uh, but but anyway, yeah. So there's like a ton of stuff here. Some of the stuff in the app is not the greatest. Like if you go to the watch section and then you go to something like I want to say like I got to remember where it
can you make
is.
phone calls on it? I'm just curious.
This does not have speaker. This does not
Okay.
have a
I just saw the
speaker or
phone
anything.
option there, and I'm like,
So I think yeah. So you can get it'll just tell you
let you
and
know
like
if you're getting.
a lot of these options like you click on it and there's like 2 options
Yeah, yeah.
like so but you go to watch face and it says this setting is only available on your watch,
Oh,
so it's like
good.
then why is it there? Which I mean it is available here, you just have to
But you
go
can adjust
into
it through the app.
you can't adjust it through the app, which
Why
is
include it on there then?
I don't know. I think because
It's one app
this is
serving.
the Garmin app for
Yeah,
like the 2 dozen watches
right.
that Garmin has. So I mean,
That's
I
fine.
guess
That's fine.
it would just be really nice if you could just
Small annoyance.
It's not that hard. But yeah, so like but you can set up like different activities and apps, and there aren't a lot of them.
It's a very
Um,
clean. It's a very clean app.
it is a very clean interface. One might say boring, um, but you know, you can go into your user profile and you can put in your weight, which I still have is 295, which is a freaking lie. Um, but yeah. So I mean, like the app is it's good in the data part of it. Like for the actual watch controls, not as great. But I mean, just like there's just a ton of data here, which is, and you know, you're I guess you're stressing me out because I'm at a 42 right now. But oh no, I'm at a 30.
That's why I'm here to stress
Yeah,
you out.
I've only had 23 minutes of high stress today, and I don't know when that was.
I guess it started. Let's see. How long has this podcast been
Yeah,
going?
about that.
30 minutes and 49 seconds.
Oh no, here we go. It was right around. Oh, it was when I was at the library, which is funny because I
Did
was
you get
picking up.
3D printed stuff?
Yeah, I got a playing card holder
Oh, nice for your fun night.
for our game nights. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But anyway, yeah. So and there was I was stressing out because it was like at the end of my lunch period and I had to get back,
Oh,
and I had biked over there beside, so I wasn't even driving. So it took me like that much longer to get back, and there were like two people online in front of me, and I'm like, I gotta go. I just need to pay for this and go, please. But anyway, yeah. So that's the Garmin Solar.
yeah.
That's the Garmin.
I dig it. I
It's
mean, honestly, it's an interest. If I wasn't such a fat ass and got more exercise, it would appeal to me even more. But I like the aesthetic of it. I like the
mhm.
just the simplicity of it.
Now,
The long
one other
battery life.
thing, one other thing we kind of need to talk about is that this is normally $449.99. It's currently on sale for $349.99, which is nice, but yeah, so Garmin watches in general
Yeah, I
are
know.
not cheap. They're I don't believe Garmin has. No, they do. I
They've got
want to
some that
say
are down in like the 170 to
they've got
$200 range, but
right, but I don't think they have anything approaching like the $100 range, which
no.
is like where like a lot of the Fitbits and stuff live.
Yeah.
So like if you're gonna get a Garmin, you're gonna be a Garmin kind of person. I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to, and it's kind of like the Apple of fitness trackers, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind
Oh,
of
definitely.
you know, I know people that are, you know, absolute Garmin fanatics that
Jaime Rivera.
Jaime Rivera, and actually a good friend of mine that lives here, who's a runner, believes, you know, strongly in Garmin. So, um, I don't blame
Matthew
them for that.
Miller, aka Palm Solo, also a big Garmin guy.
Okay, okay. So like, yeah, this is pricey, and that's $450 is a lot to pay for a flashlight on your wrist, but here it is. Um, you know,
Ah, you know.
so like while I do love this watch for the various things that it does, if I had to buy one for myself, probably more of a Venue 2 kind of person.
Mm,
Just
that was the
because like
touchscreen version.
it's a touch screen, it still lasts for 5 days or
Yeah,
more, and it has like the microphone and speaker built in, so you can do phone calls with it and Google Assistant with it and stuff like that.
gotcha.
So but like for what you get out of this watch, especially if you're outdoors a lot, you know, you could potentially like never charge this watch,
Yeah,
which is kind of awesome.
so cool.
You know, if you, especially if you have a job where you work outside, you know, by the way, another reason why I started wearing my watch on my left arm instead of my right was because I realized wearing this on my right hand, I wasn't getting a lot of sunlight when I was driving because I put my arm up on the
Oh
thing,
yeah, yeah.
and like this arm was over inside the car, and I'm like, oh well, maybe if I switch to my left arm, I could start getting more
So
sunlight for the watch.
basically, in order to use this as a left-handed person, you need to live in a country where they drive on the left-hand side of the road,
Exactly.
and their right-hand drive, and you're also right-handed. Is
Right.
that right? No.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
right-handed.
left-handed.
Left.
Well, or
If you're
right-handed and
left-handed, then you wear it on your right.
or
side.
right-handed and stupid like me. Um, but yeah. So yeah. So if I wanted to live my normal life and still have this outside the window, then I would have to like move to England or something. Which, you know, hey,
Well, I couldn't
With
get my battery charged all the way. We're changing countries.
right, well, yeah, with all the insurance issues that I've had in the last week, trust me, that's kind of tempting at this point. But anyway, so yeah, so that is the Garmin Instinct 2 Solar. I dig it. And maybe you do too. And if you want to pick one up, I will put a link for it down in the show notes, and you can buy one, and it will be lovely. But
It'll be fantastic.
yeah, did you have any final thoughts there
No,
for
I think
it?
I mean honestly, I get that it's for a certain subset of people, but I don't know that sometimes when in a world where we have just touch screens and information everywhere, I mean, I like that can also just work as a normal watch too,
Yeah,
and just kind of be your Casio G-Shock, so to speak.
right.
And I personally like the that sort of rugged design. I just and in
Mm-hmm.
fact, it's actually that is actually very trendy right now. So if you're a trendy
True.
person and you also need smartwatch stuff, you can also check out
Right.
this Garmin watch. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I dig it. I don't know
Can
if
I?
I $450 dig it for me, but
Right. But another thing about the price, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Classic,
it's
that's
around there.
$350. The
Mhm.
Pixel Watch, that's $350. This is
I,
not crazy.
I would much rather have what you're wearing than the Pixel Watch as it stands right now.
Well, right. Yeah. I can think of a lot of things I'd rather have other than the Pixel Watch. No offense, Pixel Watch, but your battery doesn't, I can have this for a month, or you can have the Pixel Watch for like an hour and a half. Like, that's kind of what it boils down to. Which is, can I tell you my
It's
biggest
a
disappointment
stylish
about
hour
this
and a
watch?
half. Can you what?
Can I tell you my biggest disappointment about this watch so far?
And no one said anything about it to you?
I have yet to go out and find a geocache at night with it.
Oh,
Because bong, I believe it's over here. So anyway,
oh,
I think that'll do it though for this episode of the podcast. Please consider subscribing to the podcast if you enjoyed it, and if you really enjoyed it, I would love it if you would write a review for the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, because that is the only place that this video will exist, you should like and subscribe so that you can be notified of new episodes and reviews as they drop. And if you want some early access, jump onto Patreon at patreon.com/benefit of the Doud. I'd like to thank co-producer Cliff for all of his hard work behind the scenes, but most of all, and as always, I would like to thank you for listening and for giving us the benefit of the Doud.